Hello everyone, it's Rob with Quad Logic. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about ATV, UTV drive clutches and what is the difference between them, specifically if you're getting an aftermarket one or maybe a cheap China one off of eBay or Amazon. So what we have here is a cheap eBay one that we bought from China, and then this is our own Quad Logic version of the drive clutch, and we'll show you kind of the main differences and why you want to maybe spend a little bit more money or team up with a company that deals in ATV, UTV parts so you know you're getting a good product. When we first bought this, we started looking at it and we're pretty amazed at how bad it actually was. Because you don't know when you're buying online. They all look the same. These two look identical, but once you start looking closely at them, you'll see the differences. The first thing they did was they greased everything. They greased the sliders, they greased the one-way, they greased the pin, and that's really just going to gum up the clutch with dirt, debris, and belt dust, and it's going to make it sticky, hard to shift. And not to mention, if you get that grease on the belt, it's going to do nothing but slip the belt. And it's just going to be a complete mess to clean. So that was pretty ridiculous that they did that. Secondly, the belt to sheave clearance, your belt's going to ride in here. This clearance was much too wide. And when your belt to sheave clearance gets too wide, you get kind of a hard, jerky acceleration, especially right off idle. Higher engagement, and it's just much harder on the belt. It's going to wear out everything prematurely. So we made sure our clutch was shimmed properly. Belt to sheave clearance is going to be proper for a new belt, and both sides are shimmed correctly. The other thing they did wrong here, which was hard to see here, but there's a gap between the sliding pucks and the sheave. Now that's going to cause that spider to shimmy in there, and it could get you clicking, knocking. It could actually break those little pucks, and then you have real trouble. So that's basically what you find in a worn-out clutch, is they're going to have slop like that in between the spider and the sheave. So right off the bat, it's like you're putting on a clutch with 2,000 miles, and it's just going to wear out much more prematurely. Now the worst thing we found when we took this apart, we got the cover back on right now, the spider was not even torqued down. It was hand tightened. It literally took no force to take the spider off. Now if this thing's spinning 6,000–7,000 RPMs and that spider comes loose, you have a grenade on your hands. This thing is going to bust your clutch cover, it's going to injure you. It's super, super dangerous. Another thing we found, this has a one-way clutch on it for the EVS style clutches on an older Polaris Sportsman. These are supposed to be one-way spinning. This was actually free spinning both ways. It doesn't even work. That clutch will spin both ways. It's only supposed to spin one way. So effectively, you're going to lose your EBS and probably really poor back shifting, I would assume. I've also seen where they don't use the stock clutch puller. They use the wrong threads on the internals. So as soon as you bolt it onto your engine, you can't even remove it again. You don't know where to get a clutch puller because it doesn't take the standard clutch puller. We've taken the time to take these clutches. We test them on every unit. We break them all the way down, put them all the way back together again in our development to make sure that it's going to bolt on, run, last for a long time, and work and perform just like the original OEM clutch, but at a fraction of the cost. Okay, so we've spent a lot of time developing and making sure that these run right, they run proper, you're gonna be able to bolt it on and go. There are cases where you'll have to swap out your spring and weights just to make sure that your particular year or model or high elevation will run the same RPM, but we'll tell you that in all of our listings if you're gonna need to swap out your spring and weights. It's very simple. If you haven't done it before, don't worry about it. It's an easy job. Other than that, you can bolt these on and basically go, not have to worry about it. If you do have questions, we're always here to talk to you, 651-983-7823. As always, you can look us up, www.quad-logic.com.